are taking control.
Animal disturbing production.
Yes, it's June 19th, and that means it's time for another Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. This series of shorts has long been seen as popular commentary in both children's media and education. Today, we will be analyzing the concluding installment of the series, the biggest and most ambitious in this surreal and creepy experience yet. Okay, so as the episode begins, you can notice a few things. First, the date, June 19th, is plastered on the wall. Now this is symbolism that has been shown throughout the series, and we will come back to it later. Some other interesting details to note are the globe from episode 3, the graph from episode 1, and the clock from episode 2. Here we have the yellow guy, also known as Doi, looking at a scrapbook of memories. The first one appears to be the duck guy on the beach. The second one appears to be the three of them, including the red guy, celebrating some kind of birthday. The third picture appears to be of Doi's father, also known as Roy. There is also, for some reason, an Admit 1 ticket, which we will come back to later. The fourth picture is of the red guy graduating, which ties into some of the theories about the third episode and him growing up, and his absence from further episodes being evidence that he grew up into the real world. We will also come back to this later. Notice how he is grieving them, greeting their empty beds. Some popular theories state that the bird is dead, and that the red guy moved on to college and into real life. They are no longer part of his life, and he misses them, and he acknowledges this fact. Here we have what should be the educational main character of the episode. Notice that it's a night lamp. Let's listen to what it has to say.
Oh, somebody's sleepy.
Huh?
But that's silly.
No!
It's worth mentioning the almost immediate denial of any kind of educational lesson or song. It's shown more prevalently here in a second, but I think the message is clear. He's tired of this. He doesn't want to go through this anymore.
How can you be sleepy if you don't know how to have dreams?
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know how to have dreams. No!
Notice the complete terror with which he does not want to do this. The song terrifies him, and he even directly references the horrible things that result from these songs later. Notice how the song starts off seemingly almost deliberately hard on the ears. Previous installments have at least made an attempt to make the music sound good, but this one seems almost intentionally bad. Also notice that characters from previous episodes are on picture frames on the wall. Could this be alluding to the fact that this might have all been a dream? Also notice that on the camera, the clip is set to number 4, and that the green button is pressed down. Remember, green is not a creative color. Also notice Roy sitting here in the theater.
Oh!
Every night when you sleep in your bed, you could have a dream about riding.
Now the background is filled with references to previous episodes. However, the two most interesting things in this picture are the missing poster and Roy in the telephone booth.
A horse,
No!
or you could have a dream about drowning in oil.
No more songs! Ah!
Now that was interesting. This shows more of his denial and downright terror of these songs. They've obviously affected him and his life in some way.
Oh, looks like somebody's having a bad dream. Bad dream. A bad dream. Bad dream. A bad dream. A bad dream.
Now this is where things get really interesting. Red Guy is alive. This is something we already figured out, and he's wearing the coat that we saw him wearing as he was walking out of the phone booth in the ending credits of one of the other episodes. The interesting thing here is that it's always been generally accepted that the yellow guy represented our youth, that he represented the more mature and older audience, and that the bird guy represented the elderly. Now, what's amazing about this is it appears to be taking place in almost a postmodern setting. We'll talk about that more later. For now, let's see what happens.
Can you file these files, please? Yeah. Sure.
Here, we have something very interesting. All the people look the same. Obviously, by his telltale brown coat, you can tell that this is the red guy from the previous episodes. He has grown up and gotten a job. He is mature. And as people age, things tend to look more and more the same. People, jobs, and our day-to-day life.
Hey, but wouldn't it be funny if one of these files came alive? Yeah. I am a file and you put documents in me and a a file. Fuck me. Silly file. You know, it did it like a song. No. That sounds really boring.
Now, this scene is particularly powerful because it shows the red guy coming into touch with more of his childlike and creative side. However, as you can plainly see by the wayward looks he's given and the fact that his boss immediately tells him it sounds like a boring idea, that it is frowned upon by the rest of society to indulge in his more childlike and creative behavior. He is not happy. There are a few things I'd like to mention here. First, the score is particularly effective at getting to the emotional center of this part of the video. It paints adulthood in a dull, almost depressing light. It's obvious that not only does the red guy feel he can't express himself, but that he also feels isolated as a result of this. In this scene, you can see he has gone to a bar, drinking and indulging in a common form of escape for most adults.
But I was like, yeah, that's not even the same bucket. Bucket friend. I am the cool guy, I guess. Laid back and sad. But nowadays I hurt my leg to death. I'm scared.
Another thing to notice about this scene is how everyone is introduced so monotonally, in his voice. None of it has meaning to him. I think that this is a sign that we are seeing the world the way he sees it and not necessarily how it actually is. His loneliness and isolation have taken the identity and color out of everything.
But that's rude. No clothes.
This is another example of him trying to get in touch with his more childlike side. He begins to sing a song from the very first episode, the one about creativity.
What's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative. How do you get the idea? I just try to think creatively. When you look at this orange, tell me please, what do you see? It's just a boring old orange. Or maybe to you, but not to me. I see a silly face, walking along and smiling at me.
As you can see, the audience begins to boo him for indulging in his childlike behavior. This mimics the same behavior seen in The Office, the idea that acting silly or different from the norm is frowned upon by society as a whole. Interestingly enough, this was also very similar commentary to the first episode, the song he is singing in this scene. Also notice the hand puppets. He obviously not only remembers, but misses his friends.
See what you mean, cause you're not thinking
I don't like
creatively.
it. Really
Take a look
not
at my
good.
hair. I
Boo.
use my hair to express
It's
myself.
not very good at all. Not good.
It's not very good.
Not very good. I don't like it even one minute.
And here, out of nowhere, Roy is in the bar.
Don't stop now, friend. Your voice is music to my face.
Wow, things sure got weird really quickly. Well, let's tackle the obvious. Red Guy's mic and boombox turned into characters. The kind that would be usually educating the trio in any normal episode. He drops the mic and now appears to be in a pitch-black room with a checkered floor. He walks up to some kind of strange machine that is playing what appears to be the skit with the yellow guy in it. It's an interesting detail to note that the floor in the dream also had a checkered floor. Could this be a dream?
A dream about losing your friends. You can have a dream about burning your friends.
Interesting. So it appears that this machine, whatever it is, controls various characters from the episodes, particularly the educational antagonist.
Is a tool you can put on the wall or wear it on your wrist.
The past.
Far behind us, the future doesn't exist. Time went new and got old like history. Stuff from the past went into a mystery.
You made me die.
The yellow guy remembers time and the lesson it taught him. He specifically says that he made him die. Not only does this give reason for the sheer terror with which he regarded the light, but he also is seemingly aware that the lessons given from these things are not good for him.
I'm a computery guy. Everything made out of buttons and wires. I'd like to show you.
What's it all about? You've no idea. And everywhere you look, all you see is hatred and
Ice cream beef, ice cream beef.
It appears as though the red guy is trying to stop this, to shut it down somehow. And in his button mashing, he is bringing back every antagonist, even ones that would seemingly appear in later episodes, in an effort to help his friend.
A rocket ship can go to space. A rocket ship can go to the moon.
Sport! Ball! Let's play sports! Cricket ball!
Red car.
I'm Magnet, and I'm friends with Math by Attraction, and it's my best friend!
Dig a hole at the bottom of the
Stop! Doobop-a-doobop. I teach you how to buy a canoe.
I am a
This is one of the more perplexing parts of the video to me. I don't know if it's a callback to a joke made earlier, or if the red guy is somehow actually involved with the creation of this character. It's still a bit of a mystery to me, and it isn't explained at all.
file and you put documents in me.
But red is for not go. You can be crushed by a bus.
I know about jail.
Dinky Mouse!
Music is your favorite
Now this may be an odd detail to focus on, but it fits into my overall theory. Notice how gently the hand touches him, not only with familiarity, but with gentleness and tenderness. Notice how he is so surprised by this, almost as if it's a revelation of some kind. Now, While this could be debatable, it looks to me like he bears more of a striking resemblance to his father, Roy, in this clip.
I wonder what will happen.
I don't know if this effect was intentional, but this is obviously unkeyed green screen before it fully switches to its next part. Okay, so it's obvious that this scene is the scene from the first episode of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. The red guy shut down the system. The cycle continues. However, note a slightly uplifting thing. All characters are the same color of their favorite colors from the first episode. More on this in a second.
What's your favorite idea?
Yes, notice that Roy is in the background of the credits. Now on to the explanation. So far, what we have is that the red guy has grown up, having moved on with his life. Bird guy is dead due to his elderly nature, and that Doy has stayed in the past, alone and confused. Remember Roy, how he appears so often in this episode? Well, Roy is Doy. This series is fundamentally about change over time and growing up, learning lessons and being raised. Some people, like Red Guy, live completely normal, boring lives no matter how lonely and unhappy they feel. Some people, like the Bird Guy, die, never to be remembered again. Doy, or should I say Roy, never grew up. For whatever reason, he stayed in the same childlike state, never really growing up, never really accepting the world for what it is. I believe that Roy is representative of today's youth. They refuse to grow up, and this is in part due to the fault of a world that doesn't cater them to grow up. This show, in essence, is a commentary on growing up and on learning. It makes a statement that if you stay in the past and never look past what society tells you, you will end up like Roy, in the background, alone, isolated from the people you once called friend. This is why Red Guy looks at him with recognition. This is why Roy's hand was so gentle, and that's why the machine was looking at Doy. It's Roy's memories of not only his past and the lessons he learned, but of the friends and lessons he lost along the way. Either way, I'd like to thank you for tuning in today. This analysis was done rather quickly, but I believe it was thorough, and we intend to come back to it at a later date once some theories have circulated around the community. Either way, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you again here on Above Disturbing.